Welcome to our show, Junior Chefs. We're your hosts, Shai Calianta
and Joseph Castro.
On this episode, we are going to be showing you how to make the most amazing chocolate cake step by step and talking about the science behind all the ingredients being used.
Introducing our master chefs, Melody Arieta and Henry Vargas.
I'm Master Chef Henry. The following ingredients we'll be using are 3 cups of all-purpose flour, 1.5 cup of buttermilk, 1.5 cups of cocoa powder, 3 cups of granulated sugar, 4 eggs, half a cup of olive oil, 1 cup of warm water, 1 tablespoon of baking soda, 1.5 teaspoon of salt, 1.5 teaspoons of baking powder, and 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract.
My name is Master Chef Melody, and we will start off the process by preheating the oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. The following step is to combine all the dry ingredients and whisk it all together until well combined.
So we'll start off with the 3 cups of all-purpose flour. We'll start off by pouring the 3 cups of granulated sugar, as well as the tablespoon of baking soda. Now we'll pour in the 1.5 teaspoons of baking powder. Then we'll pour in the 1.5 cups of cocoa powder. And finally, we'll pour in the 1.5 teaspoon of salt. Next, you will need a whisk to stir in the following ingredients.
First, we'll add the buttermilk. Then add the olive oil. The warm water. Then we'll add 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract and add 4 eggs.
Once the batter is mixed well, you will get your pan and you will get your non-stick pan spray. You spray the pan spray all over the pan. But for those that don't have non-stick pan spray, you can use parchment paper and place it at the bottom of the pan. That way the cake can slip out easily once it's baked.
Flour is an important ingredient in cakes, which provides the structure in any baked goods. When the proteins found in flour are hydrated, they interact with each other, forming what is known as gluten. The protein content of the flour affects the strength of the dough. It is this gluten framework which stretches to contain the expanding, leaving gases during rising. The gluten content causes products to have a tender, more crumbly texture that is more desirable in cakes.
Salt plays a crucial role in this recipe. Salt controls yeast growth and has a strengthening effect on gluten in the dough. It also helps cut out the mouthfeel of buttery doughs and encourages browning in the cakes. It perks up the depth and complexity of other flavors as the ingredients mix together. Salt also provides a balance to the sweetness of cake batters.
We will now be putting the cake into the oven for 25 to 30 minutes.
Baking powder is an amazing contribution to cake, which makes the batter rise. Baking powder lightens the texture of cakes. Baking powder is an ingredient that determines the volume of your pastries. Too much baking powder makes your cake taste bitter, while excessive baking powder makes your cake rise too rapidly, and too little baking result in tough cake with compact clumps and poor volume.
Sugar is an essential in baking because besides its main intended use of a more sweetened taste, are its other contributions in baking such as a sweetener, preservative, texture modifier, fermentation, substrate, flavoring, and bulking agent. The process in which sugar modifies texture in baking is how strong a bond is formed by the mixture of sugar and water molecules. The bond allows sugar to lock in moisture so that other components of a baked item won't dry out too quickly, resulting in keeping the baked goods soft and moist. Tenderness is also a result of the addition of sugar as once implemented into the barrier of dough. It snatches water away from proteins and starches, which helps control the amount of flexibility.
To see if the cakes are ready, you can get a skewer or anything to poke the cake, and if it comes out clean, you know the cake is ready.
Once you pull the cake out, put it in the refrigerator for 10 minutes for it to cool.
Buttermilk is an important ingredient when it comes to baking goods. It's not as nearly as sour as lemon juice or vinegar, but the milder lactic acid present in the buttermilk makes it a key factor for baking. A slightly acidic batter helps keep baked goods moist and tender by breaking down long, tough strands of gluten. The structure of buttermilk adds a pleasing, subtle tang to cakes and pastries. The acid is responsible for the buttermilk thick consistency, which adds a soft, rich, creamy quality to whatever you're baking.
Once you pull the cake out of the refrigerator, you would take the cake out of the pan and you would put it on a plate that you will be serving it on.
Once you're done, you can now add frosting or decorations to
The role of vanilla extract in sweet baked goods is like the role of salt on the savory side. It enhances all the other flavors in the recipe. Without it, cookies and cake tend to taste flat and bland. Vanilla extract is a solution made by macerating and percolating vanilla pods in a solution of ethanol and water. It is considered an essential ingredient in many desserts, especially baked goods.
Cocoa powder is an intense flavor which makes it well suited for use in brownies, cookies, and some chocolate cakes. When natural cocoa is used in recipes calling for baking soda, it creates a leaving action that causes the batter to rise when placed in the oven. Cocoa powder contains several minerals including calcium, copper, magnesium, phosphorus, potassium, sodium, and zinc.
So we have now finished our delicious chocolate cake. Once you're done, you can cut it or do whatever you want with it. It's up to you. We're obviously going to save it for the class tomorrow and we'll cut it in person and everyone will get a slice.
Thank you for tuning in to our first episode pilot on Junior Chefs.
The egg yolks have emulsifying action, helping to create a smoother batter and more stable air bubbles. In a sponge cake, the eggs additionally act as the main leavening agent, helping create and retain the bubbles that will expand during baking. The egg also adds fat, flavor, and color to the cake. The egg yolk contains 1% materials with phosphorus as the most abundant. 60% of the total phosphorus in egg yolks is contained in phospholipids, the major inorganic components of egg white, and sulfur, potassium, sodium, and chloride.
The last scientific research ingredient is vegetable oil. The results in vegetable oil makes the cake lighter and gives it more moisture. The purpose of the vegetable oil is to coat the protein. Once vegetable oil is mixed with the flour, then it can form gluten, which wouldn't make the cake chewy.